I tell you what, this is evidence of why you should not be playing this crypto for the short term if you're trying to make money. Let's break it down. What is up, my people? It is Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro, back again with an update on Band. Bands will make them dance, but you're not going to get a whole lot of dancing from this action at $5.44 if the price keeps going down. Okay, so I hope you're stacking them while you can, because you can get some really good bands here for what this thing is going to go to in the future. Dollar cost averaging right now is a good thing to do. This is what you call bargain hunt. But I'm gonna warn you, if you're messing around with this thing for the short term and trying to make a quick return on your, a quick buck, quick return on your money, or whatever you want to call it, you're gonna get yourself wrecked, and I'll show you why. So anyway, let's get rid of this and just jump into the 4-hour chart, and I'll show you what I mean with this by giving you this warning. So let's just scrunch this down so we can see as much of the action as we can to show you where this thing has come from. All right, we had this peak back here on September the 2nd, just September the 2nd, sitting at $17.45. And since then it went and just took a dive bomb, and we have lots and lots of distribution going on. So the overall, right out the box, or at least as far as the data goes back on this chart, which comes from Coinbase, we see nothing but distribution. So we come off of this beginning price of 15.70 cents. We took a dip. We had a nice strong move, made a higher high, and then after that, nothing but distribution. And now we're in this quiet side banding time period, and the on balance volume just looks like people are getting rid of it. Massive distribution going on. This is definitely not the type of activity that you want to see to be able to call it a consolidation. It's still a distribution. Now, let's just zoom on in and have a look at why I think this is not a good play for the short term, even though it's a great play for the long term. Okay, first of all, we have these three baselines here, which are supports and also resistances. First, they serve as a support, and then they flip to resistance. So we bounced around here, came up to this top line, bounced around, and then it hit it once, twice, 3 times a lady, and dove right down to that second line, where here it just kind of settled down into nothingness. Once everybody got super bored with it, it plopped down here to that lower support line, and then we had that second move up. And now we've bounced around between these two support lines, and we just failed that middle line, and we're trading way beneath the point of control at $6. All right, so here's the thing about it, and here's why I'm telling you that you should not be playing this for the short term, thinking you're gonna get a quick buck. The reason is that we don't know where the bottom is. There's really no bottom here. There's no bottom in sight. And our evidence of that, or lack of evidence is what I should call it, is based upon this volume profile. So we see a node here, and then we got a node here. We got a big, nice clump right here. And these clumps tell you where price usually is attracted to based on market conditions. But once you fall below this last node right here, we're in a slip zone where the volume just tapers off to nothing. And then we're in no man's land, so we don't know what could happen. So this is uncharted territory. This is like Star Trek. This is boldly going where no man has gone before in this area here. That means there's nothing to predict. We can't tell where we might get attracted to. We just can't. And so that means that the bottom, we don't know. We could hold this support line here, which would be great. We could just kind of bounce back and forth here, which would be nice, and then maybe jump back up to these other nodes and hit a spike up here back to the $9 area. That'd be great. but we don't know if we're going to hold this bottom. So the stochastic is looking like it's in a very bearish movement, a very bearish cycle, because we have several little blips where it tried to recover in reverse direction and it just keeps on heading down. So that tells me that with this fast line and the slow line very divergent here, the momentum is still down and we're going to head into the nasty oversold zone. Now, the last time that we dipped pretty deep down into oversold below the 20% boundary was here and here. And so this is a lower low because at this point, the return on the price was still above that support line. The next time that we dipped, we broke it right there. So when we break it again this time, I'm expecting a lower return up here. Maybe it'll be right here at the support, or maybe it won't get there. Maybe it'll break. If we break this last line right here, then that's no man's land. And then we just don't know what's going to happen, where price could end up anywhere down in this zone. And so I am probably going to take some chances and roll the dice, because if you don't roll the dice, you can't make the big bucks. I'm going to put a strike zone in here where if we get, I might draw it like around this lower base. Like I'm going to start looking at it once we get close to the base. It could be a good time to buy. If it breaks that base, then it's definitely a time to really look at it. Now, if I get scared, if Bitcoin starts to correct, then I'm going to draw that strike zone down here, where I might wait until we break down through the bottom of this base. So if Bitcoin corrects and we break this base, then we're going to be bouncing around here in the no man's land, and we won't know where that bottom is. So the one thing that I would say, which would be a great strategy because of the fact that this is a great project, is to do the DCA method, dollar cost averaging. So if you DCA and you just accumulate this a little bit here, a little bit there, all the way through until the bull run starts, I think you're going to be looking good. And I tell you what, I'm spending McDonald's money on this. I'm not emptying out the savings account, going to get loans, or paying, using my money that should be going to the electric bill. All right, because this is risky business. This is a great, great project. So it has a tremendous upside, but the technicals are nasty, very nasty. As a matter of fact, one more thing. Hang on. Let's jump out here to the 1 day. I want to show you this on this ugly 1 day chart. Okay, so we see our overall, oh man, look at the return on price from the stochastic peaks. You know, here's this peak here. We had the great run all the way up to 18. And then the next one where we made it all the way to the line, the 80% line, look at the return on investment here. And what is that, $7 and $7, somewhere around $7.50? That's terrible. That's less than half we were at the last stochastic cycle. And look at this thing. It's not even cycling. Usually it gets easy to predict when you get a stochastic cycle that does this. Okay, nice oscillation where it looks like a sine wave. Easy to predict. But now when you get these crazy, psychotic, ugly ones that do something like this, you know, where it's kind of bucking around there, then it's down, then it's up. Oh, we're reversing. No, we're not. Oh, going down. Nope, up, no, down. No, now we're going to just stay down here. Oh, up, down. You can't predict much with that. You just can't. So with the ugliness of this stochastic and with these three little humps, this looks like one of those big giant slides when you're a kid where you go, wee, hump, wee, hump, wee. So maybe we get another hump there, and then we just continue downward into this oversold territory. So once we get down here after a few more humps, I'm looking to see what price that we're going to return up here. Will it make it to this base or will it not? And that's why I don't think that we can tell that there's a bottom, because we come out the gate and it's nothing but distribution after this point. There's no guarantees here. There's no prior price action where we can say that there's a viable base. Now, if we had something going on, like let's say we were doing this, okay, and we did this, and then all of a sudden that resistance became support, and we did this, all right, then here's how I would play it. I would make me a little line here, and I would say, okay, based on history, this looks like an important level right here. And then we'd say this looks like an important level right here. that there's a good chance we could bounce off this line, and we know that that could be a base. But guess what? We don't have that. We don't have that prior history, price history to tell us of what's going to happen. So now I could be incorrect with the opening date, but I'm just going by Coinbase. I'm not going to go by what was going on the other exchanges. So maybe there is some prior history that we could look at and find a base, and I'll have to look that up. And on the next date, I'll let you know if there is. But based on the trading activity on Coinbase, no siree, this is not looking safe. It is definitely not safe. Okay, so what are your thoughts on Band Protocol as far as a bottom? Where do you see it bottoming out? Is there a bottom, or do you even think that there is a way we can tell what the bottom could be? I'd love to hear your comments about it. And are you going to DCA this? I started buying Band at, I think, 10 bucks. I got a little bit, then I bought again at 7, then I got another chunk at 6, and I'm going to get another chunk at, 5. I'm going to wait for that. And I'm going to keep on just buying at these bottom dips and then wait, because I can see that this one could be trading kind of like what we expect Polkadot to do next year. But right now, this chart is very similar to Uniswap. Look at my Uniswap video that I uploaded today, and this is very similar. This is the same type of deal. Very bearish without a bottom in sight. Like and subscribe if you have not already joined the gang, and welcome aboard all the new subscribers. I just noticed that we popped over 207. Yay! So it's time to make a nice nifty little reward for my first 200 followers. I'm gonna make some cool little NFT trading cards. And we're going to have some fun with that in the future. But anyway, tell your friends, tell your family. We want to get to 1,000 so then I can provide updates on the YouTube stories section. So that's all I got for now. This is Carl and Flowers, your crypto pro. We out.